I've finally realised one of the reasons my life has been so extreme and has felt so, in some ways, self-destructive, is that, it sounds arrogant, but I never had any feeling that my talent was going to let me down. I had a feeling that I had a huge advantage over a lot of other people in the industry and a lot of other people in my own life, obviously, that I love and care about very much. And I think, in a strange way, I've spent much of the last 15 or 20 years trying to derail my own career because it never seems to suffer. I suffer like crazy. I suffer all around it. I've suffered terrible things, obviously bereavements and public humiliations and blah, blah, blah. But my career just seems to always right itself like a duck in a bath, like a plastic duck in a bath. And I think in some ways I resent that.
When you were very, very young, you decided you wanted fame. I mean, it was a very deliberate strategy by you.
Absolutely. But by the time I was 22 or 23, I knew that I was chasing something that was making me unhappy.
You haven't chosen any of your own songs?
Did I not? Actually, I probably just listened to my own songs on a desert island to remind myself that I was once known and famous, because I'd be explaining it to crustaceans, wouldn't I?
One of the most poignant songs I think you've written is Jesus to a Child, and that was written for essentially your first love. Mm-hmm. How did you meet your first love?
Well, what happened was, actually, there have only been 3 times in my life that I've really fallen for anyone. And each time, on first sight, I had something has clicked in my head that told me I was going to know that person. And it happened with Anselmo across a lobby. This was the first love of my entire life. This was the first person I ever shared my life with. Unfortunately, within 6 months, I knew that he was terminally ill.
And so he died in, was it 1993?
It was AIDS-related, yeah. I mean, I'd already just released an album when I met him, and then by the time I actually made another album, he died, which is what the album was about. And to be perfectly honest, I think my best album. I think it probably will always be my best album, and I never want to be that inspired again, as I say to people, you know. I hope he's very, very proud of it somewhere. When I came out to my mother, I wrote her a letter the day after Anselmo died because it seemed absolutely simple. It seemed like if there was a message at the moment of his death, it was, well, this is when you tell your parents because this is the only part of yourself that you haven't opened up.
What about the recent pain then? As you mentioned, you no longer have a driving licence and for 2 years you won't be able to drive because you were found... Now, it's reported, and you do take issue with a lot of the reporting on this, that you were found slumped at the wheel of your car and you were incapable of driving. Absolutely. Do you think you have a problem with drugs?
It depends what you call a problem, really. I'm a happy man and I can afford my marijuana, so that's not a problem. I mean, I'm constantly trying to smoke less, really. I would like to take, absolutely I would like to take less, no question. To that degree, it's a problem, yeah. Is it a problem in my life? Is it getting in the way of my life in any way? I don't think so, I really don't think so.
You said a little earlier that this is a time in your life when, probably unlike any other, you found peace and a degree of contentment, and you've been back on the road with all the attention that has garnered. What do you think it is essentially that's brought you that peace?
I think, well, in all honesty, nobody died on me in years. It took years for me to believe that these blows weren't going to keep coming.